Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with my October 2023 TBR, and I haven't been this excited about a TBR in a long time. And the set of books that I will be showing you that I want to read in October are some of the most exciting books ever, and a couple of these I now own. But there is one book that I said that I would read in September, but I never got around to reading it for various reasons. So I am adding it to my October TBR because I really wanted to read this book. It's a long time coming and I really do need to, get on with reading it. So without any further ado, let's dive right into my October 2023 TBR and let me share with you all the books that I want to read in October 2023. The first set of books are 4 books that I requested from the library, and the first of them is a book that I have as an ebook, but I saw the paperback at the library and I was like, why not? And also I saw a bookstagrammer that I follow. Her name is Ova. From Excuse My Reading. She was reading this book recently, I think, and it sort of pushed this into the forefront of sorts, and I was like, this is a sign. And I feel like off late I've been taking a lot of signs of such sorts on Bookstagram. But the book I'm talking about is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. This is the story of 2 roommates in boarding school, Lillian and Madison. And Lillian has to leave unexpectedly, but years later they get back in touch, and Madison wants Lillian to be a nanny to her 2 stepkids. But the catch here is that these 2 stepkids, they burst into fire every time they are agitated. So now Lillian has to navigate all of this while being a nanny to her former best friend's current stepkids. And I find this premise so interesting. It's like, I don't know how you're going to stop kids from becoming agitated. How are you going to make sure that they don't burst into flames? And I really want to read this, and I've heard that this is a very easy book to read language wise and that you can fly through it. So I'm like, yes ma'am. Next is a book that was selected by Reese's Book Club as one of their book of the months, and that book is The House in the Pines by Anna Reyes. And this is a book that I've been hearing so many mixed reviews about. When it first came out, when it was chosen and all of that, people were gushing about it. But now that the sort of hype has died down, everybody is just stomping on this. I feel like that is a trend with a lot of these books. Even for example, Fourth Wing, when it came out, it had a high Goodreads ratings with like thousands and thousands of reviews. It had about 4.7 if I'm not mistaken, and then as time went by, the other reviewers came out and they started bashing it as well. This is one of those books, and I don't know why, but I really want to read it. For some reason, I even have an audiobook for this from Libro FM if I'm not mistaken, and I know I'm like way too behind on catching up with all of those, but I will get there. But this is, I don't exactly know what this is. The House in the Pines, and then I was sold, but this is the story of a house. I didn't know that, but thanks for telling me. The cabin lies deep in the woods. The cabin lies deep in the woods where the trees are so dense it's easy to miss. On the outside it might look like it's crawling with weeds, but on the inside it's warm and cozy. A fire crackles in the fireplace. Dinner simmers on the stove. Maya once saw this cabin as an idyllic place, like a cottage from a fairy tale, but now she knows the danger that lurks beneath. The summer she visited the cabin was the summer her best friend Aubrey died. Now another woman from Maya's hometown has died in the same strange, unexplained way, and Maya believes only she can save the next innocent girl. Guided by her fractured memory and a mysterious unfinished book by her late father, Maya returns home to face the house in the pines and the man who waits there. The man she's tried so hard to forget. And I don't know, now after reading this blurb, I feel like I know where this is going and how it's going to end up. Next is The Long Game by Elena Armas. Yeah, I know. Even I'm surprised that I put this book on here, but to be very fair, I did not like the first book, The Spanish Love Deception, but I really enjoyed The American Roommate Experiment, which I read in February of this year for that whole Valentine's Day vlog that I was doing, reading romance books vlog. And this is Elena Amos's latest book. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try also, because to be fair, I feel like her writing is becoming a lot better. So this is a sort of a sports romance, and I want to see how this book goes. And the last book in this set is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charles Magsy. And I don't think I have to say anything about this book, why I requested it and why I wanted to read this, because this is a book that I don't think has any negative reviews. All of the people I've seen talking about this book on Bookstagram, they have just gushed about it. They've said that this is one of the most heartwarming books ever. And the movie that was based on this book also went to the Oscars, and it also won, if I'm not mistaken. And I have a feeling that I'm going to get very emotional at this. Next are 3 review copies that I got from Pan Macmillan Australia, and I'm just so excited for all these books, because like, I can't even. So first of all, before I get into what these books are, thank you Pan Macmillan Australia for these gifted copies. It means the world to me, and why I'm getting so excited, you'll soon see. I'll save the one that I'm really excited for last. The first book that I received from Pan Macmillan Australia was this book, Something Bad Is Going to Happen by Jessie Stephens. This book seems so intense. I'll read out the blurb for you so that you see what I'm talking about. Adela is facing the dawn of a new year and the end of her 20s, and she's in a psychiatric unit recovering from a mental breakdown. A decade earlier, her life held such promise. She had every option in her hand. How did it come to this? As we go back and walk with Adela through her 20s, she searches for her grand purpose in love, career and travel. At her side during the tumultuous highs and lows is her best friend Jake, who is facing his own challenges and opportunities. They both know the future must have something better to offer, but why does it also always feel in the bottom of their stomachs as if something bad is going to happen? And this sounds, like I said, so intense, but it also makes me sort of nostalgic for my 20s, when I sort of had rose tinted glasses on, and I thought I will do this, and travel the world and everything. There was a lot going on at that time, and I thought everything was achievable, that life was something I needed to grab with both of my hands and the like. But obviously, even though that's all such an idealistic view, things don't always go as you want them to go. And this nostalgia for my 20s stems from this book, even though the undertones or the obvious title here is Something Bad Is Going to Happen. What's going to happen? And I want to find out. And next is Learned by Heart by Emma Donoghue. I've read Emma Donoghue's works before. I've read Room and I've read The Pull of the Stars, and I liked both. I really enjoyed both, especially Pull of the Stars, where it's a historical fiction set during 1920, I think. This book is also historical fiction, and in this book we follow the story of a girl. It's set in the early 1800s, and we follow the story of a girl who is banished to a different country, and how meeting another young girl who is sort of fierce and fiery and all of that, how it changes this girl's life. And this is something that I'm really interested to see, because the girl here, whose name is Eliza Rain, is half Indian. She has an Indian mother and a British father, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Emma Donoghue is done with this particular topic. And this cover, look at this cover, it's so shiny. The first time I saw it, I was like. And the third book that I am so excited for, which just came today. Today is the 29th of September, and it just came home today, and I'm like, oh my god, Pan Mac, thank you so much. And that book is the 4th and final in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and translated into English by Jeffrey Trusslott. And that book is Before We Say Goodbye, and this is something that I really was looking forward to, especially after having read Before Your Memory Fades, which is the 3rd in the series. And I was like, I suddenly had this very painful nostalgia kind of thing. There was a longing for me to go back and revisit this cafe, and I was like, I need this book in my life, and I requested it and they very kindly sent it over to me, and now I cannot wait to start reading it. And I'm sure, I'm 100% sure that October is going to be the month in which I read this, and this is not going to take a long time. This is about 170-180 pages, and I can finish it in a few hours or so. But I want to take my time savoring this because I've heard that this book is very emotional. It will make you very emotional, and I'm prepared. Give me all the tears. I love books that make me cry. So yes, these are the books that were sent to me by Pan Macmillan Australia, and a big thank you to PanMac for the gifted copies. In addition to these, there are also a bunch of books that I want to read for vlogs that I'm planning in October and November, and I need to get started on some of them as soon as possible. Plus a couple of vlogs that I wanted to put up in September, but those didn't happen, so I'm hoping that those will happen in October 2023. And I think that is sort of the theme of my reading life, that I say I'll read something earlier in the year and I put it up finally in August, and then I just keep adding them to my monthly TBRs and it just explodes in the end in my face. There are also a few books that I'm planning to read across October and November for a couple of prediction videos that I'm planning to post in November, and I'm not really sure if those will be happening at this point, which is why I'm not mentioning those books here. Other than those, there are 3 books from my personal library that I want to add to this TBR, and the first of them is a book that you've seen me mention in a ton of videos before, it feels like. But that book is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This is a story about, I'm so used to saying R.F. Kuang, it's Rebecca F. Kuang she's written as this book. But this is the story of publishing and what goes into publishing, behind the scenes of the publishing industry, etc, etc, etc. But this is one book that I've been excited for a long time, it feels like, and I have not yet gotten around to reading it. I'm hoping that October will be the month. Oh, by the way, it's not the same yellow, but next is a book that I mentioned in my birthday book haul, if I recollect correctly, and that is Imogen, obviously, by Becky Albertalli. And this is a book about finding oneself, Imogen finding herself. This is a book that I've seen so many people raving about, and I feel like this is going to be a next favorite from Becky Albertalli's stable after Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, because Simon was a book that was one of the first books that I read after joining BookTube, and after that none of her books ever lived up to it for me personally. And this is a book that I somehow have the feeling that it's at least going to go head to head with Simon, if not anything else, if not be better than it. And last but not the least, and buckle up, I swear this is such a great looking book and such an exciting book as well. And I mean, I've been like on cloud 9 ever since this book came home yesterday, and I'm like, I have this book in my hands. And that book is Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods, which is the 6th in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and I am so excited for this book. And I really wanted to start reading it yesterday itself so that I could devour it, but I'd have to wait like a few months for the 7th book to come out, and apparently it is coming out. I don't remember the name, but it's apparently coming out in 2024. Let me just check. It's called Wrath of the Triple Goddess, and I'm not sure when in 2024 it's releasing, but it is releasing in 2024. I think I saw it on some official channel, and I don't have words. Do you see? I'm like speechless. Percy Jackson has saved the world multiple times, battling monsters, titans, even giants. But these days, the modern day son of Poseidon is hoping for a regular final year at school. Too bad the Greek gods have other plans, and 3 new quests for Percy to complete. First up, the cupbearer of the gods, Ganymede. is missing his golden chalice. Not only is this embarrassing, why do the gods keep losing their magical items? It's also potentially disastrous. One sip from the cup will turn any mortal into a powerful god, and the old gods do not take kindly to newbies. Can Percy and his friends, Annabeth and Grover, find the chalice before it falls into the wrong hands? And even if they do, will they be able to resist its awesome power? Do I have to say anything else? Honestly. So, these, can you see? Yes, are the books that I'm hoping to read in October 2023. And a quick reminder that all my TBRs are tentative TBRs, and I know that I might not be able to read all of the books that I mentioned in these TBR videos, but the hope still remains. If I manage to polish off all these 10 books, I'll be like so happy. So that was my October 2023 TBR. What did you think of this video? What did you think of the books I want to read in October 2023? What books are you planning to read in 2023? And what books from this list should I prioritize? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.